Hey guys, I want to talk in this video about the customer service experience and what they're getting across North America right now. 95% of the industry is doing the same thing, minus a few bells and whistles like Wi-Fi and courtesy vehicles, stuff like that. The service experience is very similar, and everyone is jumping on this bandwagon of trying to um, improve this experience as opposed to saying, wait a minute, there is something really flawed about how we're doing this and trying to find a better way to do it. Okay. And so this is the process. This is the experience that I want to talk about. And it is this. I drop my vehicle off at the repair shop for my oil change and tire rotation. The shop takes the vehicle in for inspection, and then they call me back and they present me with $200, $300, $400, $500, $700 worth of extra work that needs to be done with my vehicle. This has got to be one of the worst times to do this. I don't care how you dress it up, okay? I'm not saying that inspection tablets don't have their place in trying to make this better, but it is still the wrong time in my opinion. So still use an inspection tablet, still take pictures to document proof. But what is happening is this has got to be one of the worst stressful times to present this to a customer. They're gone back to work or back at home or out doing something. The car is in your shop, in your bay, probably on your hoist, and most likely taken apart in some type of frame. And you're asking your customer to make a quick decision because that car is taking up your space. Now, you run a great shop. I know you're probably not putting the pressure on. You're not trying to make them feel uncomfortable. You're trying to do everything to make it an enjoyable experience, right? But that is one of the hardest times to do it. If you do any type of research on customer satisfaction, you will know that this is true. In order to make customers happy, you need to explain the process of what's going to happen and then follow that process to a T. Any variant of that, anything that is unpredictable or changes, makes the customer uncomfortable because you're not doing it how you said it was going to happen. Now, unfortunately, we work in an industry where that's not possible. Our job is to find the bad things, right? Before they become worse things, before they lead to an accident or, a safety hazard or irreversible damage to that vehicle. I mean, that's our job. But by leaving it to that point of the inspection is where the problem is. And so I ask shops this all the time. And I say, look, when you do your inspection, what percent of that is neglected maintenance, wear and tear versus an actual repair, something that is broken and is a concern? And I will tell you that most shops agree when I say it's probably close to a 70-30, maybe an 80-20, 60-40, somewhere in that range. The majority of it is neglected maintenance versus an actual repair. Okay? Now, if we have a good customer who's been with us for 4, 5, 10 visits, they've been with us maybe a couple of years, and with technology online, we can find most of that service history, things they've actually done. And we can track and age it by the actual time or miles driven per day. And we can very quickly with technology today be able to look at a service and say, that's due now, passed by 3 months. That is not due for 6 months. That service there, the tire rotation, is now due. Whatever the services are, we have the technology now to know really fast. Like, there's no excuses anymore. The technology is here, people, and you need to be using this. And so this isn't a sales pitch. This is just me telling you that the technology is there. Okay, I don't care if you're using our program or I've talked to shops who use spreadsheets. It's very time consuming, but it works. We do that automatically for you. But here's the point. If you know this when the vehicle is driving up, You can talk about what appears to be due or not due yet at the very beginning of that conversation. Heck, you could do it when they're on the phone booking the appointment with you. They know they got to come in for something. They're already sold on the idea that they are coming in for something. If you can consult and say, look, I see these 3 services here. They're not due for 6, 8, 12 months. I got a couple services here we've done for you before. They are now past due. And there's some stuff here we have no history of doing. I'm not saying skip the inspection. You're going to say, we're going to do the inspection and we're going to verify our data. Sometimes data can be wrong. Sometimes things can wear out prematurely, right? There are some things in there. But I'm telling you, if you have that bulk of that conversation up front, and they see that because of the way you're tracking this, that you are not going to sell them something prematurely, and you're going to make sure that everything's done on time, that the more you show that you are protecting their wallet, the more they are going to open their wallet. Okay? So having that up front, and then when you call afterwards or you text your inspection pictures, you're basically going to verify what you've already discussed. And now what's happened is they've had some time. If they didn't buy it up front, they've at least had time to think about it until you verify with your inspection. And now that they've had time to process this. And so when you give them the inspection, you say, you know what, our reporting up front was correct. We found maybe this 1 or 2 things. So hear me out there. If you are doing, your inspections are undercovering 70% neglected maintenance and only 30% repairs, right? You've reduced 70% of that stress point. You've reduced 70% of the shock that they didn't know by doing it up front. That is going to make a happier customer. The less times that we can shock them or surprise them, the better it's going to be. So now when you present the inspection, they've had time to process it. They're thinking, you know what, I'm really trying to flip this car in 6 months. What are the safety concerns? What can I bare minimum take care of? Or, you know what, I love this car. It's done me really well. I want to get 3, 4, 5 years more life out of it. Let's talk about what this is going to cost, right? But you're allowing that customer to process, and they're going to be much happier for it. So that is what is our industry is not doing, is helping make that a smooth conversation to make the customer happier about making a purchase. So I want to encourage you to either A, start doing this. Maybe it's by spreadsheets. Some management systems are starting to have some ways to do this. What we offer is a program that does it for you automated. We dig through your entire service history of your management system, and we use an algorithm to place all of that service history into the right categories and then track and age them by time or miles driven per day. So the conclusions are ultra accurate, and they help you in consulting and transforming that customer service experience. So with that, let me know if you have any questions about this video, and we will see you on the next one.